So I hope y'all are gonna go out tonight. They've got an amazing dinner lined up, and then there's a bit of an after party. It'll be fun. But we're gonna go ahead and get straight into it. This is a brand new term. POW, proof of useful work, the future of GPU compute.
Here one more time, everybody, proof of useful work.
We are live. That's your sentence. Are we live?
We are live.
Good morning, everybody. So today we're going to talk about proof of stake. Oh wait, not wrong slide. No, we're not. Proof of useful work. Dan came up to me earlier and said, "Don't F it up. We've been working on this for a few years." Six. Sorry. So no pressure, right? So, I asked the design team help me create a presentation for me and Alex. It's on the wall, a huge wall. So we're going to go through it. Some of the things you've already seen, because sometimes I go on streams and I leak things. So my apologies for that. So there will be things you've seen before. There will be things that you're going to be like, that's different. This is still a work in progress. So, little caveat there. We want to go in alpha the end of Q4, which is the next quarter. Alex, we got work to do. And then we want to go live with the beta next quarter in 2024. So, should we dive into it?
Go ahead.
Go ahead. You're gonna be doing things too, you know. He's gonna go stand over there and try and get into the DeLorean and run away. Alex, you're up.
Oh, wow, that's far My background is academics. I've been doing research for almost 5 years in University of Applied Science in Geneva. And I noticed that myself as well, while doing my master's thesis back then, invested a lot into GPUs just for machine learning and AI. Unfortunately, millions are spent each year, and basically we're wasting resources. Why I'm saying wasting resources? Because all of these machines basically just sit there idle. Wrote a paper about it, 4.7% gets really used year-round. So 95% of that is just sitting idle and losing value over time. But these GPU are quite expensive. They lose in value very quick because basically everything, all the AI models just evolve so fast that it's hard to keep up. So every 5 years we've got to refresh the hardware, and that's more investment.
To give you an idea, 2 years ago he came to us. We had a meeting, me and Dan and Alex. And he's like, we got these big machines. They're like A6000s in them. They have a few hundred gigs of RAM. What was it? How many? 12 slots of?
Yeah, 12 slots, 64 gigs of RAM.
And he's like, we're barely using it. I'm like, well, we can probably help you with that, but we can probably run a Stratus node on them or some Nimbus nodes. And he's like, I want to do more. He's like, there's big GPUs in them too. So we started talking, and we onboarded him like maybe 5 minutes later. The guy was smart, so we're like, bring him in. And he's not wrong. The amount of compute that's out there that's unused is ridiculous. And I know that from my own background as well. As an IT administrator, everything we do is overcompensated with our procurements. The vendor says, I need 2 cores, 4 gigs of RAM, more than sufficient. What do? 16 cores, 32 gigs of RAM, make sure it never goes down. Boom, we're overcompensating. And that happens with everybody. And that's a secure thing. We want to feel secure, and that's how everybody is doing it. And we're going to try and help those folks out by actually using that compute power now. But this is our vision. Go for it.
Sure. So as I mentioned earlier, unlocking idle power. So most of the times our workflow is never static, it's mostly dynamic. When we buy infrastructure, or we buy hardware, it's a static measure that you can't surpass that. What I mean by static is also that you cannot add more to it. It's, if you want to add more, you've got to buy another unit. That unit is also static as well, you're just adding to it. A more dynamic workflow would be the better approach, but it's hard to realize with the current knowledge. So basically what we want to put into place is some place where we can share GPU. Share GPU when we're not using it, we share it to others, and when we need more, we basically use what we stored into what we share to others, as in basically flux. And we can use that compute that we stored over time and use it all at once onto multiple GPUs. That way we can also basically perform most of the IIS models a bit faster. We can distribute the workload and use what we stored for like a whole month, for example, into just like a whole days.
Yeah, the vision here as well is to literally be a provider and a consumer. Just be the consumer, just be the provider, it doesn't matter. But what does matter is that as a provider, you're making flux. At that point, you'll store an amount of flux as you're mining, basically providing your compute power for AI, for rendering, even gaming. We did a proof of concept already with cloud gaming as well. And basically, you're going to be doing that on the side of your regular mining. We'll show you later on how that works. But basically, you'll be able to mine. So if you're not doing anything useful, you'll be still doing useful stuff for your coin that you're supporting. Don't forget, proof of work is still important as well. It is not a waste of electricity, it drives an economy. It's important. Never forget that. Even though we introduced a new term, proof of work itself is still very important as well. But you don't have to be mining flux, right? Let's be very clear. You can mine any coin out there that you like, even the ones that I don't like.
He's talking about Dynex.
So we got some recommendations. These are recommendations. These are not requirements. For all I care, you launch a very old machine and hope for the best. I can guarantee you probably won't be picked by anytime soon, but you basically decide yourself what you want to spend on this. You decide yourself what you want to hand out to your community and to your consumers, right? Don't forget, we're all decentralized system administrators. We all work together and provide, as a community, we provide that compute power to our consumers. So what do we need, or what do you recommend we need?
So you have to keep in mind when we come to hardware recommendations, when it comes to proof of use work, we're basically providing a service to clients that are going to rent our machines. So we have to establish a certain standard to these regard, and basically these are basically requirements that are going to be the baseline for proof of use work. In terms of the CPU and motherboard, just make sure that it supports virtualization. Most of the new ones that do now. In terms of CPU, it's 4 cores per GPU. You can always go less, you can always go more. You will have to find a sweet spot. When it comes to the GPU,
Damn it, financial failure, no.
AI workloads,
I'm just gonna shake my camera back here in the back.
The speed that you can process the data, but it always depends on the use case and to who you basically cater for. If you want to provide rendering farms to people to do GPU rendering, that was an easy one. Or if you want to do AI, it's going to be different needs and different requirements. You're basically becoming a small data center yourself, and you can grow yourself if you want to, investing into more resources, more machine. When it comes to the motherboard, PCIe lanes are important. I recommend Gen 3. You can go lower, but you're going to see in the benchmark, basically, the impact that will have on the learning. When it comes to the RAM, that's probably the most important part. I wouldn't go less than 25% of the VRAM of the GPU, and 4 times the amount of the VRAM would be what I would suggest. You don't have to go that way. You have to play with it, fiddle with it, and see what fits best to your use, what you want to provide to.
So the reason we have these recommendations,
just text that to Dan.
This is a little bit of an education piece. It was for me as well. When you're doing AI, you're moving large data sets. and you're moving them from your hard disk, or you're downloading them into your hard disk, and then you have to move them into your RAM to move them fast into your GPU. That's why these PCI Express lanes are so important. It's literally bandwidth to move the data fast, in and out. You're doing this hundreds, thousands of times, constantly, in, out, in, out, in, out. And the slower your PCI lanes are, you're holding back everything else. But think about it as a big traffic jam. The wider the road, the more traffic goes through, the faster we go. And I always compare to big lorries, like big trucks, right? The big ass trucks driving that road. The more we can put on there, the more data we can move, the more we can process. That's the important piece of it. And we've seen this slide a few times already. I don't think this is anything new, but I think it's a good reminder for everybody out there. So, do you need the latest and greatest for everything? No. But do know that you might not be always picked for the latest and greatest cool things out there, but we'll show that in a bit. There's other things you guys can do as well if you have a little bit of
Y'all wild.
So, what are we doing to make sure that we know what you have? And here we go again, Flux with their benchmarking. Well, we're in a decentralized world, so we don't know what people have out there, so we do need to know what you have. And when I say we, I mean the consumers, right? The consumer needs to know how much memory you have, how much CPU you have,
My hands are getting tired.
and what your bandwidth looks like. The last one on the blocks here, the network one, is a vital one as well. I'm not going to say you need X amount of upload, I'm not going to say you need X amount of download, but download is going to be more important in this case, right? Not compared to our Flux Cloud solution, where upload is a very important one, download in this one becomes important because we're downloading large data sets, right? We have to be able to get all the data in to have those trucks move through those PCI lanes. So we need to know the limitations, we need to know where you are, so that we can provide the best service to all our consumers. A bit of a workflow, very high level. So there's a couple ways of doing it, and we'll go through it in a bit as well. But basically, your consumer, your customer, will basically say, hey, I want to run, what does he want to run? TensorFlow things?
Yeah, sure.
For instance, he wants to text to image, right? So we'll have some predefined, out of the box, downloadable mechanisms ready to go. He'll pick them, he'll launch them. This is where everybody else comes into play as well. So what we've been thinking of is how can we incorporate everybody? So if it's smaller things, smaller jobs or projects, whatever you want to call them, we're going to be able to give those to like the 1060s, the 1080 Ti's. If it's a small job, those guys can easily do it. But there's also the opportunity for folks to say, hey, I want to use a bigger, I want to do a big job, I need a lot of things out there. And then they basically are able to say, hey, I need 1,000 3070s, I need 1,000 4090s. They'll be paying for that, but we'll have the network for that as well. So first they select, then we make sure the delivery and the distribution is secure. And how do we do that? Well, we have what we call RTE2. What is that again? You're the technical guy. Yeah, exactly. So it's Kubernetes. We've been talking about Kubernetes for a while already. We're going to be utilizing it. So going forward, our proof of use work is going to be on Kubernetes.
He says
Why is that
Kubernetes
important?
weird.
Remember, I said 1,000 GPUs. We're going to be providing big-ass clusters. Clusters that allow you to render, clusters that allow you to do AI work, and the folks that will be using it, and this is the kicker, they won't know that it's on Flux. They will not know the difference if it's Flux, AWS, Google, and Google Cloud, or Microsoft Azure. It'll look the same, because we'll be utilizing software that everybody else uses in that space as well. Jupyter Notebook, for instance. So they'll be able to launch their
My hands are killing me.
AI work. They'll literally copy it from their Google Cloud where they're used to use it, and then paste it into their Jupyter Notebook, and off they go. They'll be running it on Flux. Let's demo PlugScore. So, PlugScore itself is the tool that will be installed on your machines. It'll be on Windows, it'll be on Linux. I'm sorry that it's a little messed up on the screen. I didn't know that. Sorry, guys.
That's all right, we're all hungover anyway.
Just think about that you're not wearing your glasses, and that's how it looks, okay? So basically, we allow you to sign in with your trusted evil Google email address, if you have to. We have GitHub, we have GitLab. We can allow you to log in with a phone number. We can allow you to log in with an email address, and we'll have a Zell ID login as well. Why is it all important that we have this? These are your consumers, and as well as your providers. In the back end, we're going to make it available for you to be able to get all your rigs connected. Not just your rigs. You can pool your rigs together. We'll be able to pool your rigs together and form a larger company. And as a larger company, or a pool, however you want to call it, we'll be stronger together and allow you to present yourself as a larger entity. That'll be important later on.
I have the biggest GPU
Okay,
PP.
Okay. So this looks like your traditional screening. Any other software out there has a similar thing. Why is that important? Usability. This is what people are familiar with. They are not realizing at this point they're logging into a blockchain project. Oh, this looks bad on the screen. Is there any way we can fix this? Basically, what we're trying to show here, and it looks a little jumbled, I'm very sorry about that. I don't know if we can fix this. I don't know if that show's available.
Interpolated resolution.
Basically, what we're trying to show here is your workers. At this point, you'll see 3 workers on the screen. If you can read it at least. I don't know if you can fix that.
Nice. Just download more RAM.
It's amazing, right? They all have the greatest ideas. Ah, great. This is in Polish or in... That's awesome, guys. Thanks for that curveball as well.
Well, that does go on brand with the DeLorean.
Give me one sec here.
Oh god, my hands. Please. Please.
I guess this means yes. Alright. Yeah. Give me one sec. My technical guy will fix it for me. Give me a sec.
Okay. Doesn't work.
This is a union job, I think.
Just show what you had there. That's great. It was just
You're welcome, I'll track.
go back to the screen you had.
Nice blocks, yes. Alex is like, I'm out, sitting down. Yeah, right, mad chillin'. Oh, let's watch Hobbyist stream, shall we? Look at that. Killing the game.
With Control Plus. Oh, it's
Streamception, automatic beats.
around. You guys just zoom in.
Yeah, you guys get my Michael J. Fox dream.
So I'll keep going while these guys figure it out. So basically, all the workers, at the moment they'll show the screen, you'll see all your workers, you'll see what type of worker it is, you'll be able to name it, you'll see the IP address, you'll see how much is making a day, which is important for a lot of people, I guess. But you'll also see your name of the machine, and you'll be able to get an entire list. Think of it as HiveOS and maybe NiceHedge had something together, and that's how it looks. It actually looks really good if we could get it on the screen again.
Technology's hard. Let the record show the bar is not yet open.
That's the change I made. I'll let the experts deal with it.
Oh, he's got his laptop out now. Putting in the work.
We'll share the PDF regardless for folks later on. I'll throw it on Discord as well, and then you can look at it in high resolution.
So while we're waiting, so you said a couple things in here that are really interesting. You talked about Kubernetes and the fact that that's going to be a part of it. So how do you see, is this like a clustering scenario where they're going to cluster together? And you guys mentioned something that I didn't even really realize about building the pools or teams consolidated. So does that mean that me and multiple individuals can get together and we can basically launch our own pool together?
Absolutely.
Okay, so that gives us some flexibility. So if anybody's familiar with running a pool or using a pool, you understand that basically everybody working together is going to be a higher yield. So I think what you'll see is a lot of mid-tier folks start to build these out. You could actually see pools being formed on this work.
Yep.
Which is pretty amazing.
Yeah, so you're not going to have to join a
Full
pool.
frontal.
You're going to be able to create your own pools together, right? So you don't have to realize or listen or wait for somebody to set up a pool and then use a stratum and all that fun stuff. No, you basically, if you have a group of folks that you know, you group together and you basically present yourself together as an entity.
Yeah, and the thing that is, as Davey and Alex were both alluding to, we need usability. We need it to be super simple. Even more simple than setting up a laptop for a video presentation.
So how many ITers does it take?
Yeah, the AV folks here are great though. So, you know, I think the biggest thing for us, and what you guys will see with this, is the simplicity that comes with the model. People ask what our core demographic is specifically for proof of use work, and although it is, you know, higher end enterprises as well, it's really every single person that wants to be part of the ecosystem. That means if I have a gaming computer that has 2 cards in it and I want to run it from 9 to 9, I can do that. And if you get tapped for a rendering job or something like that, or if I have dedicated machines, in my case, I'll have, you know, a bunch of cards that'll be idle and standby ready to go. And as Davey mentioned earlier, and I think one of the biggest things is this, start doing the math. We've got approximately 148,000 graphics cards running on Flux, just Flux. So you start to extrapolate that out to every single proof of use for product out there, and you don't have to stop mining your asset that you're currently mining. You can just continue to keep doing that and be ready for proof of use work. And that's important. The other thing we're going to do is to enable the new folks coming to the space, because that's going to be a bigger demographic, I believe. People that want to make passive income with their cards, they want to participate in AI, they want to participate in rendering, they want to see future technology they want to be part of. We're all miners at heart, and we know that. First time we got that card up and hashing, how did that feel? Best feeling in the world, right? It's a high that you can't explain to other, I mean, we're kind of nerds though too, but you know, we want to give that feeling to every single person using that platform. And that's why proof of use work is so different from any other platform out there. The learning curve does not exist. If you can put your username and password in and you can flip a toggle, you can now participate in proof of use work. We good?
Oh my god, my hands.
Yeah, can we switch over?
You gonna do something? All right.
Can we switch over to the screen? Yeah.
It is important, like Dan said, and I'll show you in a minute as well. Ease of use. Literally, you start the program, and it's a step-by-step process to get you through. You don't need to do much.
I would like to start with that one. There's also non-engineering minors and basically obvious that want to participate. Universities want to participate. We want to establish organizational units. We want to establish multiple granularity, basically, institutions.
Yeah.
Individuals, universities, institutions.
I think the educational sector is going to be huge for this. We already see University of Applied Science in Geneva, Switzerland. Give me a name, I got it right. I said it right? They're highly interested because these institutions, every 2 years, they have to go out and they have to source a shit ton of graphics cards, a shit ton of compute. And then they let the students basically fight it out for who gets the use of the computers and so on and so forth. That doesn't exist anymore. They're going to essentially get a free pass on Flux, on proof of use of work to go out and do whatever they need to do. And it's part of Flux University. So we're going to start out the education level at the very base. There's a reason why Google gives, Google Pro, which is like their teaching piece, to universities for free. It teaches people from day one as they move out of high school, they move into college, they're going to use Google out of the box. So for us, it really makes it nice because we're going to get that in at a very early level. People can participate in very early on, and also it's completely free, which is pretty amazing. We're going to also, and I'm not going to steal Davey's thunder here.
Go for it.
We're also going to work on essentially, allowing these universities to really develop on the platform as well, and there'll be an initiative behind that that'll actually pay for it. Okay, let's see what it looks like. That actually looks pretty damn good. Hey, we can go live. And then I'll shut up and let these guys keep going.
I got a question for everybody in the audience here. How many of you know Kubernetes? Okay.
And this
quite a few.
overachiever down here, dang.
How many are really proficient at it? Okay, that's a lot less. I'm not raising my hand here, it's just Alex is. He's not even raising his hand. Kubernetes is quite the animal. It is.
Yeah, the
it's
input
awesome
resolution
when it works.
definitely did not match the LCD.
So we're not going to.
Looks much better
some
now.
providers out there that make you go through a lot of loops and hoops to make
Guys,
sure
my
you can
hands,
get something running and
they
make
hurt.
install Docker and a bunch of other commands. We don't want to do that. So what we did is we made it so that we can literally do a one-stop shop. Just click, go, that's it. We run all the commands for you in the back. We basically take care of hooking you up to the
Shut up,
clusters.
automatic beats.
We basically make it happen that everything is in sync and you're good to go. You don't need to worry about anything. One of the things that I always dreaded was standing up nodes, right? It was commands after command after command. And Flux, we've done a really good job at this point. It's just for Flux nodes, I think it's 2 commands you need to run. And I know Doofus somewhere is in here with his Ansible. I think it's only 1 command for everyone. Is it 1 command, Doofus? Half a command. There you go. That's important to us. We hear you guys. And not everybody is tech savvy, right? So if I'm a student, I don't want to go through all the motion of everything setting up. I just want to click, go, and play. Same for this. They click, they start it up, and they go through the motion. Can we get to the next slides? And back to where we were? Keep going. Look at that, all in high res. Pretty, isn't it?
There we go, there we go.
So this is a screen that some of you have seen, and I know a couple YouTubers out there that I somehow got a USB stick out of my hands and were able to play with it. Full disclosure, this is from my design team still. As we were creating the presentation, I don't have as much data and everything, so I asked them to help out. And they're designers, And there's one thing that designers are not, is that they're technical guys. And I'll just point it out before everybody else points it out. A RAID on RTX doesn't exist. But it shows you what we do, right? You can see all the GPUs on there. And I don't know if, is there a pointer or something? Yeah, you see all the GPUs nicely lined up. You see the load on them, the temperature, the memory usage. Are they online and are they ready for proof of use to work? All of them are selected for proof of use to work. That's the important piece. You can have rigs built out where half of it are, for instance, on a PCI 1 lane, let's say, they're not going to be as useful. So you could just turn them off. They can just be mining. You see some buttons on the right there next to status, and a little gauge or gauge or whatever you want to call it, and a play button. All of those things are settings that you can change. So you can change the memory, you can change the core, and of course, if you're in Windows, you can still use your trusted MSI Afterburner and play with it as well. And everything gets documented. We know what CPU you have, we know what the motherboard is, and Alex, I think this is one of your rigs out of the university, because that's a big, big RAM. 625 gigs of RAM.
So that's what's remaining.
That's remaining. 6 times 20 terabytes of disk. Now I can already hear the comments in YouTube videos that people are posting today. Holy smokes, do I need that amount? No.
Oh.
This is an extreme amount. This is something we've been
You can
testing.
hear your comments,
the guys
guys.
took that information and ran with it. All the way at the top, underneath Tangerine, you'll see uptime, reliability, institutions, secure cloud. Those are tags that we add to your rig. Those are the things that make you make more money, because we know who you are. So I'll use a dirty word here for everybody in the audience. It's called KYC.
Oh no.
And why is that important? You don't have to do it, but if you do, people know who you are, and people know who they trust when they're working with you. Because you're working indirectly with your consumers, right? You're providing the hardware to them. So you need to be able to, people need to be able to trust you. They need to know somehow who you are. And the KYC piece helps with that. Again, you don't have to do it. The institution piece.
Repeat, you do not have to KYC.
You do not have to KYC, it's an option, again. But it allows us to present and make it more trustworthy, because we're still a decentralized network, right? People are scared of it. They need to
Yeah, it seems like it's
learn
a-
to trust it, and this is how we bridge that gap.
They said Q4 for the alpha now. Earlier they said today.
Sending
They
and
just keep
receiving.
missing the
This
deadlines.
is the current throughput, so we're receiving a lot of data. And then, of course,
Also, my hands.
you see all
Ow.
the usages. So you see
Pulse.
GPUs are 4, the VRAM, the CPU temperature, usage, etc., etc. On the left, you'll see the menu bar. You'll see workers. This is one of your workers. There's actually multiple. I think if we go one screen back, no, okay. There it is, that's the one. That's the one I was trying to show you guys earlier, but it was a little jumbled up. This allows you to have your overview. And on the top right, you see scan network and add new workers. The scan network, no, that's not your local network. We're not going to start scanning your local network. It's just a terminology. Basically, every computer you sign in, you'll be able to hook them up. And I'm going to speed it up because we lost a little bit of time here. So we'll not be doing any AI today. Sorry, I'll make a separate video for you guys and I'll work with some folks to demonstrate that. But you can see all your machines. These are all linked to your accounts. On the left as well, Flux nodes. Yes, you'll be able to use your Flux nodes and build Flux nodes on proof of use work. And why is that important? These are big machines. You put a lot of work in them, you put a lot of investments in them, you built them up, you added memory, you added big CPUs. Why not use them for other things too? Serious comes to mind. Is that why? Services and mining. There's of course rewards and other devices, but the mining one is important as well. That's the one that allows you to keep mining as you're not doing anything else. It allows you to mine your favorite coin, which is of course Flux, and then
It's a
when
weird way to say
you're
Dynex.
selected to do useful work, or you apply for useful work. Yeah, that's the thing. You can be applying for work as well, and I'll go quickly through that. Give me the next slide, please. The marketplace.
That's kind of new.
This is new. I don't think anybody has seen this yet. But this is one of the things that we'll be revealing today. Our marketplace, our hub, our get-together place, whatever you want to call it. We haven't settled on the name yet.
God,
But this
please turn
allows
on dark mode.
the consumers to start their projects. Big buttons, not too much on the screen, easy to read. You can see, for instance, that there's 12 machines working for this account already, or he has 12 machines running. I believe that's the case. They have 12 machines, right? Yeah. And it allows them to start a project. Can we go to the next slide?
Yeah, I think these are all renders because
Quick
nobody's on
launch.
it yet.
And custom deployment. Quick Launch allows you to do what I said earlier. You click on the button and it'll give you a wide variety of things you can run. TensorFlow, text to image. What else is there? We had a funny one yesterday with Dan.
Oh, text to voice?
Text to voice.
Yeah, terrifying one.
That was scary. I didn't know you were into gardening.
I didn't do gardening.
What kind of speed?
Next slide, please. So this is the business hub. This is the reverse order of things. Everybody out there going from Vast AI and other projects out there, they make you choose your machines and you go from there. This is the other way around. I'm a project, I'm a university, or even me rendering in the middle. I want to be able to do something and I want to acquire GPUs. I don't want to go searching for which machine I need. I'll put out a request. Think of it as an RFP, right? Where you
As a
request
pirate, I just
service.
want a mimosa.
I'm basically putting out a
Bar's not
request
open
saying,
yet.
hey, I need X amount of machines, and this is the deadline. By this time you need to sign up, and then you decide if you really want to go forward, if you have enough signups or not. So this allows you as a provider to sign up for work, so you don't have to wait. As long as you meet their minimum requirements, and you can take a spot and off you go. Big difference than everybody else out there. This allows more interaction. This allows you to guarantee that you get work. Now there's a big caveat to it.
Chuck teacher.
Some of these things
It's not free.
can last a bit. If you look at the top, it says duration 12/12/2023. If let's say the deadline is in 13 days, that would basically mean that you're hooked up for 3 months. 3 months of work guaranteed. And I'm gonna get pushed off the stage here. Oh, okay.
Chuck.
So it allows you to do both ways. There's a lot of information on there, and I'll let you absorb it later on. I'm sure somebody's recording it as we go through this. But if you can just give me the next slide, because I know we're up for time. So your account, dirty Fiat, MasterCards and Visas. So entities out there
Just not
don't
chasing it,
always
right?
use crypto. So this way, they can settle in $1 or in euros or in Swiss francs for Alex out there. They can use their credit cards and purchase things. On the back end, we'll settle for Flux because you guys are paying the checks. So we're basically purchasing Flux at market price and basically giving that back to everybody providing the hardware. Next slide. Alex, you want to take this one?
So as I mentioned,
I don't know.
earlier,
There's
we invest in
screenshots
our
made by a
resources
design
to
team, I think.
example of the car. We buy a car because we need it, but most of the times we're not using it. It's in the parking lot. They have it because it's convenient.
Sorry for the shake, guys. My hands are killing me.
It's hard to share it. What do we do to maximize the investment investment made is basically by having carpooling or renting your car from someone else. So the carpooling is not the greatest solution because your car is basically given out to someone else because you don't really want to. But with computers, just rents the space on its space in the room or wherever you have it. Basically, we're using existing resources instead of going out and buying more. As for universities, instead of going out and buying more basically machines, we tap into the network, existing resources, share it out to the people, and we gain back from it. And then when we want to use more, we tap into the pool, basically. So it kind of contributes
Dan
to
Rux is
a more
upstairs.
sustainable industry as well because we limit consumption and basically overproduction by getting basically overhead in terms of
Basically, the unused compute, we're using it up.
We actually call it run till death.
It's runs.
So if you've got your 1070 Ti's or your 1080 Ti's laying under the desk somewhere, dust them off, refurb those bad boys and get ready to go because this is going to be perpetual compute. So, but basically there's strength in numbers with proof of use work. If you have 1070 Ti's, they can basically equal an A100 or something of that nature, probably even less than that, but yes, strength in numbers.
All right, next slide, please.
Power is free, by the way.
Reward system, claiming rewards, dashboard visibility, rewarding machine contributors. So basically, as I went through it, as you sign up, you basically be paying or be paid in Flux. And then you'll be able to claim it at any given time. The fee structure is very simplistic. If you're KYC and you're an institution, and the more tags you gather, the less fee you'll be paying because we want to reward those folks presenting themselves like that. And yeah, I'm not going to talk price just yet. We'll have to wait for that till we're in alpha. Next slide, please. And that's it. Can we quickly switch over to my feed? And hopefully it'll be not too.
Just a video. All right, well, he's finishing that up, so we'll close. What I'd like to do is just take 2 seconds and thank the entire team who worked on this, guys. There's very few moments in technology where you're there from the ground level. I felt it in the early .com, I felt it when I found Bitcoin, and I feel it with proof of use work. We're changing the paradigm. If you're not excited about this, you should be. This is fucking amazing.
You did not.
This is a game changer. This allows us to provide resources to the people that need it the most. So if you're not excited for it, you should be, because this is it. All right, Davey, thank you. I'm sure there's a wonderful video that comes with this, but we've been having some AV issues, so.
I know there's other speakers, right? So I think they want some.
Yeah. So thank, go ahead and
Oh, look.
thank you to everybody. Round of applause for Davey.
Nope. We saw more at Disrupt, actually, because we saw it working at Disrupt.
Okay, it's not coming through.
Okay, well,
I'll set up.
It's really bad. Okay, guys, we're instead of, because we are running behind, we're going to bring the next speaker on right now. Wendy is somewhere here, and I'll let her handle it. Thank you.
Sorry for the technical difficulties, guys.
Just got the hash plate. Oh, hello.
It was lunchtime and I'm excited. So our current speaker, we're going to have Wagon Games on.
Oh, okay. That's apparently it. They had Q&A, but they didn't really open it for Q&A because they were behind. All right, guys, my hands are killing me. Thanks for watching. I need to go get a mimosa, but anyway, I'll catch up with you guys later.